Imagine this. You're cruising in your shiny new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Maybe you've promised the family an epic road trip, and then, bam, you hear a recall alert. Suddenly, that plush, dependable SUV just got a little less cozy and a whole lot more stressful. Hey, I'm Morgan Lane, and welcome to Recall Roadmap with Morgan. Today we're diving into a fresh safety recall from Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, that affects over 121,000 Grand Cherokees from 2023 and 2024. We're talking head restraints here, those things you lean against or toss jackets over. But what happens if they don't work like they're supposed to when you need them most? Stick around, because whether you drive a Grand Cherokee or know someone who does, this could seriously matter to you. So, what's actually going on with this recall? Let's break down what every owner needs to know. Alright, so here's the headline. Stellantis just announced a recall covering about 398 Jeep, Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L SUVs from 2023 and 2024. That's a huge chunk. Imagine a stadium packed with brand new SUVs. Turns out both the standard 5-seaters and the larger L models with 3 rows are involved. And yes, this is the same Stellantis that runs Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, all the usual suspects. The recall hit the news in late July 2025, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA for short, quickly jumped in. So if you see a news alert or get a letter, it's probably no hoax. This recall is all about the second row head restraints, and it's totally separate from those high-profile Jeep recalls for cameras or electronics you might have seen earlier this year. I dug through press releases, NHTSA bulletins, and the numbers all agree. These 2023-2024 Grand Cherokee models could have a safety flaw that needs fixing now. If you just bought one, or know someone who did, keep watching, because next up, I'll explain what's actually wrong with these headrests. Ever rest your head against that cushiony part in the back seat and just zone out? Surprise. That's not just for comfort, it's a serious safety feature called the head restraint. Here's where the trouble starts. On certain 2023-2024 Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L models, the second row head restraints might not lock solidly in place. In a crash, this faulty lock means the cushion can flop, or even collapse instead of supporting your head and neck. I like to think of it like a bike helmet that's not buckled up. Looks safe, but when you need it, it's useless. Official documents say the problem comes from a component inside the headrest, possibly a metal link or a bracket, that just doesn't hold tight enough. Stellantis and the NHTSA are both saying this can increase the risk of head or neck injury if there's a collision. So far, no crashes or injuries are reported, thank goodness. But this isn't something you want to wait on. Would you trust a loose handrail on a staircase? That's what a wobbly head restraint could feel like in a split second. So how bad could it get if you ignore it? Let's talk about why these restraints matter so much for your safety. Let's get real here. Head restraints aren't just fussy extras. They're a literal lifesaver during a crash. Picture this. If your car stops suddenly, your body goes forward, but your head snaps back. Classic whiplash. That's where the headrest steps in, stopping your head from whipping too far and hurting your neck or spine. Safety nerd fact. The government actually sets tough standards, like FMVSS 202, for how strong and tall these things have to be, just to help prevent injuries. If your head restraint isn't locked and ready, that split-second crash could mean serious whiplash, concussions, or spinal injuries. I mean, nobody wants to be the person in a minor fender bender who ends up with a chronic neck problem because of a bad part. It might seem like small potatoes, but experts in crash data show that properly designed headrests really do save lives, especially for backseat passengers, like your kids or friends. Ever been in a rear-end crash? Or know someone who's dealt with neck pain for months afterward? Let me know in the comments. Understanding why this recall matters is the first step. So let's talk about Jeep's track record and why this kind of thing comes up, especially on new models. Here's something a lot of car owners don't want to acknowledge. Recalls are a normal part of the auto industry, especially when new designs come out. If you followed Jeep or Stellantis lately, you might have noticed a few big recalls. Rear cameras, airbags, sometimes even more dramatic issues like fire risks on other models. The Grand Cherokee L? It's a relatively new addition, and like any new tech, first-year models can run into unexpected gremlins. What counts is how companies respond, and Stellantis is actually being proactive here. The NHTSA's oversight ensures there's no sweeping it under the rug. Now, if you're wondering, studies show a lot of owners never get recalls fixed. That's wild, right? All it takes is a service appointment and the repair is totally free. But trust me, these fixes exist for a reason. It's not about blaming Jeep, it's about getting you and your passengers home safe every single time. Have you ever ignored a recall notice and regretted it? Or do you know someone who drives with the warning light on? Drop a comment. Let's dive into whether your vehicle's actually affected and what you should do right now to be sure. So you're probably asking, is my Grand Cherokee at risk? Here's what to do. First, check if your Jeep is part of the recall. All you need is your vehicle identification number, your VN, which you'll find on your dash by the windshield or your car's paperwork. Punch that VIN into nhtsa.gov recalls or Jeep's official site, and you'll see instantly if your SUV is in the target list. The recall covers 2023 and 2024 Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L models. So if you've got one, double check. If you're still not sure, your Jeep dealer can walk you through the process. No need to panic if the headrest feels solid or there aren't any strange noises. Stellantis says this is a hidden risk, not something most owners will spot on their own. The repair is on the house, and most fixes don't take much longer than a coffee break. Think an hour or less at the dealer. So there's no out-of-pocket cost and barely any downtime. But don't just hope someone else will share the info. Be the friend who passes this on. Up next, what's the best way to get the repair done, and how soon should you act? All right, let's talk action. Here's your step-by-step recall roadmap. First, check your VN today. Don't wait for a letter. See your dealer or go online to confirm you're part of the recall group. If your Jeep's included, schedule an appointment as soon as possible. The dealer will inspect and, if needed, replace or reinforce the second row head restraint bracket totally free of charge. The whole thing should take about an hour, and most dealers won't have you waiting long. No need for a loaner car unless you're planning a deep dive into every free coffee they offer. Meanwhile, drive calmly and keep extra passengers out of those second row seats if you're feeling cautious. But remember, NHTSA hasn't said to park your Jeep or stop using it, so there's no need for panic. Make sure you get a receipt or note from the dealer once the repair's done. And hey, share your experience in the comments or with friends. Videos like this and your stories genuinely help the entire Jeep community stay safer. If you learned something today, hit that like button and subscribe to Recall Roadmap with Morgan for more safety first breakdowns. Thanks for watching, drive safe, and I'll see you on the next road trip.